Hey, everybody. We got a great show for you today. My guest is an author, he's a producer, he's a writer, he's a director. Oh, and did I mention comedian? Tommy Davidson, how are you?
And now singer.
I know that. I just found that out. I was
Yeah.
going to save that for a little bit later, but
Okay. My
no,
fault.
that's okay. You,
I
you
didn't
already
add.
mentioned it.
I didn't
Okay,
add.
no.
I didn't add journalists, as you can see.
It's been way too long. You're looking
It has.
terrific. It really has. I got to tell people, we go back to the Martin Lawrence days and the
Oh
In
my
Living
God.
Color days.
Yes, we do.
We really do. Back in those days when we used to hang out at all the clubs,
Oh
on
my
Sunset.
God.
I
Back
know.
in the day.
Back in the day, honey, we still here though. So
We still here though.
we're having this little party in LA called the Super Bowl. Turns out you're being honored and kind of kicking it off with the Soul Bowl. Tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
The Soul Bowl is a unbelievable celebration of soul music, of comedy, of just entertainment in general. I was able to pull together, a lot of help from entertainers and stuff like that. It's called the Soul Bowl. It's at a place called 1212 in Santa Monica, a club called 1212, and live performances, some great food, NBA, NFL, CBA, that's the Comedians Black Association,
Okay.
uh, uh, and just a really good get together. And the Super Bowl is here,
Yeah.
so why not give people an option to come to a party that celebrates entertainment? They're going to celebrate tennis shoes with Nike, I'm sure. They're going to celebrate, video games with PlayStation. They're going to celebrate, Sony. They're going to celebrate all of these things. State Farm probably is going to have a thing, So why not celebrate entertainment, because you're in the center of entertainment?
I know. I'm so excited. I mean, it's almost like there's so much going on this week. I don't know how everybody, but there are a lot of people in LA, so there'll be enough for everybody to do.
Yeah. If you want to see some music, some comedy, and you want to dance until 2 a.m., then that's
right?
great.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be there.
And the other part of this is that we have been locked up in a pandemic for, it seems like forever, but we're going into our third year. So people, it's finally, the numbers have come down. So you feel very comfortable, first of all, doing this in club, because, people do come to the point.
At this point, it's, I'm no doctor, but I'm sure that we went through the same thing with what is now the common cold, or what is now, was polio, or was I forgot what they called it, consumption, which turned out to be tuberculosis.
Right.
Call it consumption because so they didn't know much about it. All they knew is that it consumed your whole body, so they called it consumption. It was named tuberculosis, and finally a cure was found. So we're in the last stages. I do believe. Scientific.
I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. All of that being said, first of all, I got to ask you, are you a football fan?
Ooh, boy, am I. Oh boy, am I. Woo, we got a football house.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we do too over here.
We got a bunch of Seattle Seahawks fans over here.
That's always been one of my teams as well.
Yeah.
So I could be over in your house and we wouldn't be mad at each other.
Well, you'd be mad at me because I'm a Viking fan, so.
Okay, well, I was a Tom Brady fan. Everybody was mad at me because I predicted he'd be the best NFL player.
And you were right about that, honey.
And I was so right about it. And I said that 20 years ago. Anyway, off of the football thing. So speaking of the music, I'm listening. Dave Koz is one of my favorite saxophonists. I'm listening to this little nice, smooth jazz piece. Dave is like playing. And all of a sudden, this brother comes on crooning. And I'm like, that's you. You got a new single out with Dave Koz.
Yes. It's a dream come true. I've been singing since I was 4 years old, and I grew up in the 70s, so I have a ton of music infused in me, from Fleetwood Mac to Brothers Johnson to The Emotions to Cheryl Lynn to Cameo to Kansas to Chicago to Sting to Hall & Oates to Michael Jackson to Jackson 5, the Osmonds, I mean, it's all in one person. Michael McDonald,
Yeah.
and I've showed that range in my comedy for years, just doing the impressions, but now's the time for me to do some real music. And I watched Eddie Murphy as a comedian and was able to do his thing, to party all the time with Rick James. And I've watched Jamie Foxx do his music and
Mm-hmm.
really be prolific in that. And you know what? I chose what's right for me.
Yeah.
I chose the music that I can have a home base on. I can go any direction. I can do big band. I can do all that stuff. I can do big band. I could do straight ahead jazz. I could do rock. I could do soul. I could do country. I could do basically any type of music, Broadway. But my starting point is smooth jazz because it's the kind of music that I can think to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me just tell you, you sound really good. I was like, seriously, I was like, okay, that's Tommy. How did I miss this in the memo? And I know that you can sing. I mean, because because we're Black folks and we all sing. So that's
Mhm.
the other part of that story. We all kind of have done that in the past. But speaking of the past and coming up through all that music, Tommy, you had a really interesting upbringing. You were adopted, from what I understand, and adopted by a white family, and you have white siblings. And so, you look at that, and that's not
Cousin,
unusual.
grandmother and grandfather, and yeah.
Yeah. So I have to say that's really not unusual, especially at the time when we all came along. However, now looking at where we are in this country, how does that play into your life today? And what can you tell other people about all of us coming together?
Well, knowing firsthand how love works. No, my family never addressed me as Black. I'm Tommy. I'm Barbara's youngest son. Um, my grandfather, my grandmother, you know, loved me
Mm-hmm.
and they loved to hear me sing. And I didn't experience any racism from within my family. And which is an indication that all white people aren't,
Mm-hmm.
that there's some good hearted, well-meaning white people in this world, you know. So, and that's a message that hasn't been out there. And
You're right.
I can bring that message to light, but I'm talking about the whole range was experienced through me. I mean, my math teacher, and I still suck at math, but she tried. my math teacher, my math teacher, Miss Coleman, used to let me come over to her house after school. And she's Jewish. My ceramics teacher was gay, and she tried to get me into Parsons. My football coach and my boxing coach were Black. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. If I'm gonna place people in my life based on race, and it's gonna be a really limited life.
That's so true. That's so true. And I think that's part of the problem. Most people have had a limited life because we have not been able in this country. I mean, no matter how you look at it, no matter how much wealth you have, there is still that whole line of segregation, of generally, maybe not so much now where people live, but your social circles, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and economic plays its role, but I think the antidote to that is Queen Elizabeth makes, I think, $1 million every 25 minutes. But if you took an old Black woman's hand and her hand, there's no such thing as $1 million hand.
Mhm.
It was made somewhere else.
Yep. So there you have
And
it.
the manufacturer of that hand doesn't operate with money.
Mhm.
It operates so that hand can stay open to give and receive.
Interesting concept.
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're very right about that. And so where we are now, which is I'm not even sure, although it's just a lot of craziness, because I grew up in a sort of a similar situation. Yeah, I was adopted and They were Black people, but they lived in an all white neighborhood. So everybody around me was white.
Right. It's always that dynamic, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah. Which
exists.
is very, very interesting. And, you know, but I look at this and I agree with you. That's what I say, because I know these people. I mean, these were my people, you know, and and a lot of them are very good people. I mean, there's always going to be good and bad. In today's world, though, I mean, I just saw your beautiful baby daughter who's 9 months old. Oh my gosh, this baby is the cutest, everybody. You have to get out of the way because you know girlfriend's gonna be a
Oh
star.
my
She's
God.
already waving at
Tell
9
me
months old. She
about
was
it. Tell
waving
me.
to Auntie Tanya this morning.
Yeah.
So you've been busy during the pandemic, obviously. But you know, what do you tell your daughter growing up? What would you say to her about the world now that she's in, about all of this racial stuff that we are?
Right. The first lesson I would teach her probably would be that I'll teach her not to look at the word race when it relates to human. And I would have her emphasize on the word mankind. So, you know, and that's man being kind. I'd explain to her. And the other one is different races racing. And she said, what are they racing for? Why are they running for? Well, they're running for resources. They're running for water, fresh water, technology, oil, coal, uranium, food, wood, lumber. You know, they're all different groups of people that are racing for this stuff to make sure that they individually have enough.
Yeah.
Whereas a collective, if you add the word kindness, then we learn how to share the resources. That's the first lesson she would get.
Yeah. And that's really what it all comes down to: who has the resources and who's going to be willing to share. So good for you. You know,
Ooh, you something else. You got that. Who's willing to share? Who's willing to share, right?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Well, you know, I'm thinking about all the years and back in the day, and one of the things I always enjoyed you doing were your impressions, which you do so well. And I know you're about to go on tour with Mike Epps. Good Lord, I can't even imagine what that's going to be like.
Ooh, we've already tested the waters, man. We are killing it. He is unbelievably genius, man. You know, I rarely watch comedians just because I'm so absorbent and I'm super duper hyper vigilant. So if I watch somebody, I'm like channeling everything around me anyway. But watching him, boy, is a joy to watch. Is a joy to watch.
Well, I can't imagine how is this working? So do you guys come on stage together at any time, or it's just both of you separate, or how's the show going to run?
I would like that. Because we can really, that'd be like in living color again.
Yeah, it would. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I kind of going with this, you know?
We go in our time slots, and I'll have 15 minutes and he'll have an hour, or all the other comics will come in and everybody will have their designated time. He's the headliner of the tour, and doing a great job at that. Lord knows I headlined for 28 years.
Yeah, you did, at least.
28 years. I'm a 25-minute show is good for me. I'm good. I mean, if I'm on a stage over 2 minutes, it's good.
Yeah, but 2 minutes is not quite enough once you really get going.
So. No, it's not quite enough for me, but boy, I can make anything work.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you can.
Yeah,
I've seen you do that. When does the tour start? Where can people find you? And we've
been out there currently. If you wanted to see the tour, or you just go to thetommydavidson.com.
Okay.
For the real Tommy Cat, and I run my my dates through those, and then naturally on Facebook, Tommy Davidson, and you'll see that too. But you will not miss the date.
No, that's not. When are you all here in LA? That's all I need to know.
If
I missed that,
you know what? I don't know when we're here in LA. I know we're in New York and we're all around, but but you will know because we promote very well.
Yeah,
I actually have my show here in LA during the Super Bowl, the Soul Bowl, I call it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. If I can get out there, I'm going to try to do that's tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, but, please.
That
would be so great. We got some great performances. We got music, we got stand-up comedy, we got uh, food, NBA, NFL, uh, movie stars, TV stars. I mean, it's the center of entertainment.
Yeah.
So the
And
Super
here
Bowl
we
is
are.
a celebration of entertainment and football.
There you go. You cannot, I mean, what a wonderful combination. But I just have to ask you, of all the impressions that you've done over the years, which is your favorite? And who will you be picking up on now? Who's come along since this that you will now be doing an impression of?
Well, naturally, Tanya, Sammy Davis Jr. would be my favorite. And whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, no cat's gonna bar this ebony star from singing my song. I gotta be me. I've gotta be me. These cats have to learn, or Cape Town will burn. But more currently, and more currently, what's going to happen with this impression is going to fade away because Barack Obama isn't in office anymore. But one of the things that I love about him is the way that he can eloquently put things. He can illustrate points, even if it's pointless. He can make it sound pointless. And he can make it sound like he's making a point. Like he can take something as simple as Kellogg's Frosted Flakes and make it sound important. It's a part of a complete breakfast. It is always portrayed with a carafe of milk and a carafe of orange juice and orange juice and oranges and fresh bananas. So it's part of a nutritional breakfast, not the whole thing. And he also has great, healthy and beautiful relationships with children. He can ride bikes and throw frisbees and hula hoop. I'm sure he can even play PlayStation. But not only that, it's a part of an essential breakfast. Not only does he have a great relationship with children, but Kellogg's Frosted Flakes are great.
Says Tony the Tiger, and Barack Obama and Tommy Davidson.
Right.
You're the absolute best. We love you.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again.
I know. Likewise.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God. Well, here's the good news, Tommy. You know what they say, good black don't crack. We kind of looks the same.
Hey, man. Hey, well, I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 58. That's 110 in white man age.
Yeah, it is. I'm still 39.99, but who's counting?
There you go. You go.
It is so good to see you, darling. Congratulations on everything. Again, the music, we can find the music
Everywhere. Spotify, Apple, just go and get it.
Right.
Well, the single's called Sweet Reunion.
Sweet Reunion.
Proud Family's coming out again. The Proud Family's coming out on the 23rd.
Oh, that's right. You're doing the reprise of the Proud Family on Disney. I forgot to mention that. I'm glad you did.
Disney Plus stepped up and gave us a couple of more seasons of that from 15 years ago.
Wow, I know.
And we're louder and prouder, you know, and we have consciousness of inclusion. It's relevant. It's now. But then again, it's nostalgic in that it encompasses family values and principles, which seem to be the core of how America's getting out of balance.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're reprising your old role as dad.
Yes, I am. and Tanya, I wanted to say something to you. Just in a bit. And I want to say good morning to you, and I ain't seen you in a long time. All right. When I first got on the screen, I thought it was Marilyn McCoo. I might not know her. Marilyn McCoo is from Fifth Dimension. Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius.
See, everybody, this is why I love this man. He's always been insane. He don't care. He just there. Okay. Well, listen, we're going to check you out. We're going to be listening to the music. We will definitely be telling everybody about, in fact, the Disney Plus thing, we'll probably just come back and promote that again. So you come and see us anytime.
Thank you so much, man. So good to see you.
Oh, darling, likewise. And for everybody else out there, Tommy Davidson, I mean, what can we say? You are a national treasure and one of our icons. So we love you dearly. Thank you for joining me today on Hollywood Live. Have a great Super Bowl party. Have a great rest of the year. And I cannot wait for the tour with you and Mike Epps and all the comedians, honey. Y'all see me right up there in the front row. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
All
Everybody
right.
have a great day. Take care of yourself and somebody else.